Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to give you a little mood reader guide. So for those who don't know, being a mood reader is someone who, it all depends what you read, it just all depends on your mood. I'm a mood reader. I can't just say, I try to follow my TBR and what I like, the order I can, but I can't. Like, I need to, if I'm in the mood for thrillers, I'm gonna keep reading thrillers. I can't just switch to romance unless I'm like truly feeling it. And sometimes I do all of a sudden just switch. So if you are a mood reader and you truly just need something based on how you're feeling in that moment, I got you. So I'm in my thriller dark genre era right now. That is the mood I am in. So if you are in the mood for a thriller and you do not know what to read, maybe you're in a reading slump, I don't know, I recommend you read The Push by Ashley Audrain. The Push gives creepy child vibes, short chapters. You'll fly through that book. For a dark book, I'm really into dark books. This is kind of like, it's a thriller, but it's like a little dark, a little bit more graphic, a little bit harder to stomach than a normal thriller. So, and for me, that author that I've been loving for these dark books have been Lucinda Berry. She is killing it with the dark books. My rack for a dark book would be Appetite for Innocence by Lucinda Berry. This book is about a serial killer predator, molester. He only kidnaps virgins, and none of these girls have ever escaped him until one day a girl does escape, and she brings along one of the girls who's been there the longest. It was impossible to put down. Like, probably my favorite book of the year so far. I really need to talk about my favorite books of the year in another video, but that's one of them. If you want to completely flip and you need a romance, I recommend The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. She's popping off right now with her book, what is it, Wings of Fire or something? I haven't read it. I heard it's good. It's totally opposite of like this book because that's fantasy, I'm pretty sure. This is just a romance. It's kind of like a historical romance partly, but it also, like, the present vibe gives Colleen Hoover vibes. So basically, in the present time, we have a woman, her grandmother was like this famous author. However, she passes away, and then before finishing her novel, before finishing her like greatest novel that she just never published, and they hire this guy to finish it, and then they end up sparking something, but then it also flashes to the past about when she met her like greatest love, and it's so beautifully written. I loved it so much. If you are looking for a memoir, you want to keep it more real, I recommend Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. But this book kind of just goes through her late teens, her 20s, all the way to her early 30s, I want to say. And it just talks about like love, friendships, just her whole life path during those eras and that time of her life. And as a 25-year-old woman, I just felt so comforted reading it, and I absolutely loved it, and I will think about it and probably reread it in my late 20s again. It just made me feel so at peace with where I'm at and comfortable and reassured. Alright, if you would just like a fully historical fiction book, I recommend The Nightingale by, why am I blanking? Kristen Hanna. The Nightingale is set in World War II in France, and it's kind of the story about two sisters, and they're both of them living kind of separate lives throughout the war, and it's so inspiring to just fully understand how strong women were during that time, were, but I just didn't realize the impact they had during the war, and it's unreal, and they don't get enough credit. And then finally, a coming of age book I recommend is Normal People by, why am I blanking on everyone's name? Oh yeah, Sally Rooney. So Normal People is a coming of age novel, and basically that means our main characters I think at first they're like, well, they're younger. I can't exactly remember how old, and it kind of just shows them growing up into adulthood throughout the course of the book. And it's basically just kind of like a love story, friendship type of ordeal, and it's relatable, beautiful, and just, it was just like an overall really good book. It had me stressed out at times. Now I feel like I need to read what it was about. Yeah, so basically what I said, it's about two people who grow close during their final days of secondary school, and as they move on to college and career. So yeah, coming of age, they're growing up into adulthood. The two struggle to make sense of their relationship and their feelings for one another. So basically, kind of how I described it in a less complicated way. That book I was very satisfied with, because I was kind of stressed out during it, but I loved it. Anyway, so if you are a mood reader, those are my recs for you if you're trying to pick your next book, how you're feeling. That is my little guide. I'm currently in my dark genre era. I kind of went from a thriller, so a little darker. I'm like, give me something more. So I'm reading When She Returned by Lucinda Berry. I'm on a Lucinda Berry kick. I went from Frida McFadden, and now I'm reading Lucinda Berry's. And Louis has not been in a video in a while, so I'm just gonna pop him in here quickly so he can be featured. But anyways, I will be out with another video on my June wrap up and my summer TBR. Alright, thank you for watching. Follow me on Booksta at Pages of Books, and TikTok, Booktok, Pages of Books also.